You unveiled your tax plan recently, and you are calling for a flat tax, which is basically a 10% income tax, 16% business tax. I guess you say that a family earning up to for the first $36,000 of income, no tax. And the critics of this plan say, well, it won't work because if you're going to do flat tax, you got to have at least a 20% tax across the board. Otherwise, you're not going to take in enough money to support the United States.
Well, listen, any critic who's saying that is not looking at the numbers, because I've put out the numbers. If you go to our website, tedcruz.org, you can see the exact numbers on the tax plan. My tax plan says that for a family of four, the first $36,000, you pay zero. No income tax, no payroll tax. Above that, everyone pays a flat tax of 10%. That means that billionaire hedge fund managers no longer pay a lower rate than their secretaries. And then the simple business flat tax of 16% applies across the board, so giant corporations no longer pay less taxes than small businesses. And those two simple flat taxes allow us to eliminate the payroll tax, to eliminate the corporate income tax, to eliminate the death tax, to eliminate the Obamacare taxes, and to enable every American to fill out his or her taxes on a postcard and to abolish the IRS. And the numbers are there. And you know, the best thing about the simple flat tax, Megan, is it produces incredible economic growth. The Nonpartisan Tax Foundation says the simple flat tax, the Cruz tax plan, would produce more jobs than any Republican on that debate stage.
But those are the people the Tax Policy Center. They're the ones who say in order for the government to raise as much money as it does now, the flat tax rate has to be higher than 20%.
Look, I agree. Well, that's if you don't have the business flat tax. But the business flat tax generates the 3/4 of the revenue needed to fund the government comes from the business side rather than the individual side. That's how we have a low 10% flat tax. And you know, the great virtue of that, we've seen under the Obama administration, the IRS is a political weapon targeting citizens. The simple flat tax would produce booming economic growth and would let us shut down the IRS, take that government power out of Washington. And it also ends the cronyism. It ends government picking winners and losers. And there's actually one other big advantage of it, Megan. The 16% business flat tax is border adjustable, which means anyone making exports doesn't pay it. That gives a huge advantage to manufacturers, farmers, and ranchers exporting. But then every import coming from China and foreign countries pays the 16% tax. So that we compete on a level playing field. It would turn around our trade deficit and it would produce jobs and economic growth, turning this country around.